Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is April 7th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing great. I gotta say, it's a victory Monday of sorts. You know, I definitely know it's not victory Monday for Duke fans, but a victory Monday for the Draddy boys. Brian Harman gets the W, and we're in the Draddy House.
I was trying to figure that out. Was it because you're not in your everyday vest? You're already 0 for 1. Not every day. You're 0 for 1. You come to the plate. You're behind. I got my everyday vest.
Can I make an admission?
What?
I forgot to pack my everyday vest.
Of course.
I've got one coming.
So does the everyday vest challenge not start until Monday of Masters Week? Drive, chip, and putt doesn't count?
It starts whenever I get the everyday vest.
The course has to... Okay. All right. I thought it was notable. You didn't show up in your everyday vest.
You've got your everyday
You're
vest
0 for 1 starting. Yeah, victory Monday.
I'm trying to diversify this year at the Masters. I'm trying to showcase Draddy's other gear.
You got a cool something or other. It looks like a very light fabric.
I'm trying to look up what the name of it is.
That's what I was going to say. Cool something or other. I doubt is the name of it, but
maybe
this is a great way to start.
Cool. I'll find it.
Udraddy.com SGS30. We'll give
I think
you
it's
the promo
the Cool Hand
code
Luke polo.
All right.
There we go.
Cool Hand Luke. All right. I like that. This is what a way to start. But Brian Harman, little Brian Harman, as he's affectionately known here, jumping in puddles. There were no puddles in San Antonio, but he was out there having fun and shot 75 on Sunday, I believe, to win.
It was a hard Sunday.
Windy.
It'd be one of those days where you just send somebody out with a stick of matches and a pocket knife and they get it done. And that was a hard weekend at
Texas Hill Country, just finding his way, or maybe it's not Hill Country, whatever it is. He won by 3 over Ryan Gerard.
Gerard.
I know. Maverick McNeely and Andrew Novak were. Novak was in the final group. Didn't seem pleased with the pace necessarily. He was caught on camera, sort of slouching and looking up in exasperation and incredulity. But Harman started.
Novak's becoming one of the favorites.
He picked out his line and was caught on a mic saying, "I'm going to aim at the fat guy."
He did an epic backboard yesterday.
He admitted to it. He came out. He's like, hand up, but not purposefully. It was just as a Wyndham Clark ball. Big rocket out to the right and off the backboard for a birdie, a short little birdie putt.
It was a tariff ball.
Yeah, we got notes from the ground. I went up there. I got a little scuttlebutt.
We're just gonna blow past this historic Brian Harman win and get to the notes.
Sermon from Gary Player, but the tariff ball made me wonder. Could be interesting scenes at Augusta National this week, right? I mean, depending on oh my God, am I on my phone? My company just lost this, that. I mean, it could be an interesting Monday. I mean this in the least jest, very serious matters as did we lose 10? Like, it's an interesting dynamic that could be going on here on Monday. Anyways, that was the tariff ball. And when you mentioned that, I just thought, like, a lot of guys up there and then jackets or not jackets it's with no phone. It's just interesting to watch that. But Brian Harman, he had a 0 restriction on. I did notice he had the pullover.
Yeah.
I believe SGS 30 works there as well. So that knocks a good chunk of change off there.
He's a big fan of that lightweight
he does.
0 restriction pullover. He wears that all over the place.
He wore that at Troon a lot.
Yeah.
Or Liverpool when he won there.
Fourth win.
Okay.
Starting to stack bona fides.
Is he going to the Ryder Cup team?
God. I'll tell you what, like, for the European team, Bethpage, and like, I do that not because Brian Harman's on the team, it's because Brian Harman is not a very good fit for Bethpage.
No. I saw Russ Henley out there today, spinning it back, almost drained it at 9. They're out on the Russ Henley momentum, I think, is stalling quite a bit. It's like, does he hit it far enough? Similar issue for the Ryder Cup, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The
guys you want winning as a American fan, you want some long hitters winning, so they get on that team. It's like they keep getting these guys that aren't necessarily prodigious off the tee winning.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the European team's just stacking.
It's crazy.
Behemoths out there.
I mean, you look at this week. And it's kind of like Scotty versus the Euros, right? I mean, of course, there's a bunch of Americans and Justin Thomas and these players and
Hold on.
What?
You can't keep discounting LIV. It's Scotty and Big Tex versus the Euros.
Who's big? The honorary
Sergio.
Texan.
Yeah.
I mean, they love Sergio this week.
Sergio's got to be playing himself onto the American Ryder Cup team.
Ludwig's a trendy pick. Shane Lowry, all these guys. Hovland's a winner. It's all these guys. And I don't know that Hovland's going to light up, but it's kind of nuts when you look at like odds boards and things. It's like Scotty, and then the next wave of trendy folks are a lot of Euros.
There's only one past champion coming in off a win, though.
Who's that? Oh, El Pato.
Ángel Cabrera.
Quack, quack. Quack, quack.
Gets the W on the Champions Tour.
How'd that go, PJ? You know who I saw today up close? Bernhard and his son, Jason, who was like, it was like, do you guys have any regrets about stealing the PNC by playing, Bernhard playing ahead of Charlie, one up? That's the only I could think about when I saw Jason. It's Jason, right? Isn't that the young son's name who was working on Wall Street or whatever? I saw them up close.
Champions. I still haven't bumped into him on the streets of Manhattan yet. I might have to spend some time in the financial district, get down there.
Right. Get you an office down there?
Yeah, me and Jason Longer.
I was with our friends from Argentina last night, and they were like, who's playing? And the Matt was like, well, El Pato's coming back. He's got his card. He's got his visa. He's out of jail. Like, well, what'd he do? He's like, not some great things. They were like, well, they're very proud Argentinians. They're like, I don't know. I don't know how you get it. But what happened here? The Hardie board, Invitational or whatever it's called.
So he got it. KJ Choi got it to a one-shot lead on 15 today. It was those two at the top of the leaderboard.
I did
what a
see
duel.
that.
KJ Choi versus El Pato. This is like early
Peak up.
2000s just Illuminati here.
There was a big embrace when El Pato tapped in.
Yes.
You could tell there was past like P-Cup battle scars that were that.
KJ was like loitering right behind him
right.
as Ángel tapped in there. I will say Tim Brown, your winner of the Pro Football Invitational,
Oh my God.
Was asked post-round about where this ranked on his career accomplishments.
Papa?
I swear to God. I don't know if it was... Well, Papa wasn't there.
Okay.
You would think Papa would be the mix with LT. They had a lot of giants out there. I'm sure he knows Rondé through Tiki.
Yeah.
Papa, again, just
Sure.
not in the mix this week.
Sure.
So maybe soon.
Okay.
Can I introduce the first game within the game for the week?
Please. We've done tariffs, done Bernie, El Pato, Harmon. We've done all sorts of stuff. Let's go.
Let's go El Pato on the comeback tour versus semi-retired Dustin Johnson.
Oh my gosh.
Two
DJ
past
did
champions.
well at Doral, did he not?
No. He finished in a tie for 27. He beat Anthony Kim by one shot.
Oh, I thought he was doing well. Well, someone's got to defend the family honor now that grade 8 has stolen the record. My own caps. I was a big weekend back home. My caps I came up with. So it's now DJ's up to defend the active player to defend the family honor here.
Yeah.
Get back in the winner's circle.
So that's the first
All
game
right,
within
El
the game.
Pato.
Wow. We're on the board.
I mean, can I have DJ on that one, please?
I'm happy to take El Pato. Who do you want?
I'm gonna take DJ. I'm gonna take DJ. But if you join the Fried Egg Masters pool promo,
here we go. Look at this guy.
top old is a category by my request.
Is DJ an
you
old?
You can take El Pato there if you want him though.
Oh God, this is good.
We got while we're promoting stuff, we're doing a live show for the preview episode on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern,
6 p.m.
3 p.m. Pacific. Tune in on YouTube.
Okay.
On Friday YouTube.
11 o'clock British, whatever. Okay.
All right. Where do we want to go from
Let's
here?
go. That's crazy.
Do we have any more things to talk about at the Valero? Do you?
Not really. I
got a question.
Was traveling a lot today. I didn't watch it.
I watched a lot.
Okay. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I listened to the broadcast while I drove. Tuned in to a bunch of it. It was really hard out there all weekend. It was like blowing. It was cold. Does this make you think about Brian Harman any differently than before this win?
No. I mean, it elevates him a little bit more further, right? And bona fides, like, he's like a true, real tour pro, like real, bona fide tour pro, real talent.
I feel like it's good when you win a major to have a win after you've won a major.
Okay.
It's not good to just win a major and then
I'm done.
I won nothing else in my career
That
after
was the
I won.
Sergio play there for a while, but he's back. He's hot name now.
Some might say he hasn't won anything since the major.
You're going to get trouble for that one. Hey, before we get off the game within the game, what's the old course of broken sound? What's the analysis there? They were talking about how Doral, it's not perfect Masters prep. So what was the old course of broken sound? Or
That
they
had to
talking
be
about
Bermuda.
that?
I don't know if it was. If you're looking for El Pato stocks,
What was
here.
the grass? What was the grass type?
I don't
What
know.
was the length?
It's Bermuda
I would
grass.
imagine it's Bermuda.
Probably
Boca
Tip Eagle.
Raton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right,
Dwight
okay.
Dwight Freeney was out there just
All right.
batting it around. So if Dwight Freeney could it was only 11 under El Pato, so it wasn't like he blew it away.
Okay.
So
all right,
you know,
good challenge on the Champs Tour.
in position.
Jordan Spieth T12.
Yeah, disappointing.
T12 for Jordan Spieth.
That was my big call of the week. T12. Not happy.
You're not happy about it.
Well,
Standard over here.
I was really disappointed in Corey Connors yesterday. He's
You were,
making a
man.
run up the leaderboard. He finished his bogey double. Just basically disappointing.
Keegan shot 77 for me. St. John's
Dude, it
just
was
gagging
insane.
it again.
It was insane
windy.
out there.
Well, that's what I think with Harmon. It's going to show up. I think this is a real, Lamagna sings its praises nonstop. It's a real test. And then you get it in the conditions you had on Sunday where he can shoot 75 and still win. Yeah, I don't think it changes my view of him, but it's really like it adds to the this guy's been a pro. It's hard to win. He's won in all conditions. So yeah, Harmon, good win. It's a good win. He kind of was not dramatic. He salted it away, right? This was not
It
necessarily
got close.
easy.
Novak got close, and then I feel like Novak hits that fade, and he got a lot of holes with the wind off the left, and it was
Scary.
kind of exposed him a bit.
Terrifying.
He did not handle the left to right wind very well.
Yep.
I think that's like an underrated thing with golf. Like, on that mid part of the back nine when Harmon kind of separated himself, he's a lefty. He's hitting a fade into the wind. Versus, when you're trying to hit that fade when the wind's off your left, it's just a super uncomfortable shot for a righty. So, you get different element. I think like one of the things that I saw was this Harmon, and it's like what we saw at the Open. He made a lot of like those like 10-foot putts, those 8-footers that kept the momentum going, and he made a ton all week, and that's what kind of did it. It's like, and that's what's been missing, I think, a little bit in his game from when he was playing really well 2 years ago.
Yeah, good take. Any other Texas Open thoughts before we move on to LIV Doral?
I didn't check in on Chuck Hoffman, the greatest Texas Open player, but I feel like we have to. Oh, he missed the cut.
That's
I wonder if that's going to change where he stands in the next historical power rankings.
Harmon was already in the Masters field, so we settle up at 96. It will be that is our field for the Masters.
Wasn't last year like 87?
Yeah, 96 is big. 97 would have been big. They get skittish if it starts to get to triple digits. They never want it over that. So
as a gambling pod, that's going to be a little bit harder to get all of our people through the cut on DraftKings, right? It's a little harder to get all of our
a little
picks.
extra cut, a little extra top off
More
the top
guys,
there.
more guys
Yeah.
getting cut.
Yeah.
Just a little bit tougher
Yeah.
to get them through that
Yeah.
cut.
That's tough. So 96 is where we'll be. Congrats to Brian Harman at LIV.
Should we do Masters Fact of the Day?
Yeah, let's do Masters Fact of the Day. What could it be? It seems like you have one for us.
I picked this up today. I was sauntering around, just
Sauntering around places.
places. We got paid off to not tell someone tell people where I was.
What?
Yeah, I got paid off.
Really?
Yeah.
Like money?
No gear.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
But I heard
I
this.
wasn't up to this.
I don't believe this is general knowledge. Clifford
Okay.
Roberts was not invited to Bobby Jones's funeral. Did not attend.
Interesting.
Apparently didn't get the invitation. It's never been confirmed.
didn't
if that
get
was
the invitation
planned.
or one wasn't sent? Do we
Well,
know?
that's the thing that's never been confirmed
Okay.
or denied. Like it's never been confirmed.
Yeah.
But obviously at one point, Clifford Roberts, asked Bobby Jones to step aside from the Masters, from being kind of front and center as his health deteriorated.
Right.
And that moment kind of didn't sit well with the Jones family.
That's interesting.
And
You would think, given obviously their incredibly close association and building one of the great iconic tournaments, championships, sporting events, golf courses, that there's always bands break up and stuff happens. Yeah.
I believe the only comment about it was that it was a happy accident.
Okay.
And that has so that's just an interesting little fact about that.
All right.
The two that teamed up to build the Masters tournament and build Augusta National, the founders of Augusta
Didn't
National.
go to his funeral.
One
Or
of them
wasn't
did not
invited.
attend.
Wow.
Well, might not have been invited, but did not attend the funeral.
And they were lingering. I assume that didn't sit. Yeah.
There were-
Didn't
yeah.
sit.
Is it
Noticeable.
Yeah, there's that was
right.
there might be stuff still going on today from that.
Okay. Masters fact of the day brought to you by B Draddy. BDraddy.com. We've already gotten the ad read off. I'm in an everyday vest. SGS 30. We're going to be here.
Cool Hand Luke. This is a nice shirt.
The Draddy House. And that looks good. It honestly, that looks great. The vest. There's a lot of vests out there. I'm a vest guy. Like, can't go wrong with the vest generally. Like, they're all kind of, I figured, like, a vest is a vest. Everyday vest is legitimately a step above. I'm into it. PJ, you're laughing at me like this isn't an earnest take. I may not be phrasing it well, but I come by this honestly. Well, sometimes, yeah. I mean, I got one in 6th grade. That was a North Face vest. I tell you what, I like my everyday a lot better than back then. So, yes, go to bdraddy.com. Look, we've been at the Draddy House now, so like 5 years in a row. 6 years in a row. We did podcasts with Draddy before we were ever you did before you ever credentialed for Fried Egg Pod, before the Shotgun Start existed. They've been a big supporter of ours, no doubt. I mean, we've got notes from the ground already. We get out here, we have a little bit of fun. We have scripting.
How about that? How do you feel about your scripting?
I feel great.
Are you worried about any of the pieces?
There's a lot of people are chirping me about some avant-garde options,
the
maybe
shacket.
for Friday.
Friday.
Is it? Or, okay, it's like an oatmeal button-down coat. I'd like people yelling at Malbon because we got scripting. Like, Malbon's quaking in their boots. I did see Jay Day out there today. The Friday one's a little avant-garde.
You're going shacket with shorts.
The shacket with shorts is where I'm like a little for a loop. I don't know if I can go all the way. I might be able to go shacket. I'm living up north. I've got out of bounds post stakes for legs, and like I've got to come out with a shacket and shorts. I don't know. I we'll see. We'll see. I guess this will be the moment of truth. We'll have to document it. But this is a bit. I mean, look, we love the clothes. It all looks good. We're not so self-absorbed that we think we're doing serious scripting like a professional golfer.
I'm very serious about
all
my
right.
scripting.
Well, it's all good stuff. So we're lucky. We're lucky we got good stuff. They're not dressing up in clown suits. So that's good. Go to bdraddy.com. Use the promo code SGS30. They've had us at the Masters now for many years running, and it makes the podcast better, the end product better. So support them.
The good news is it's going to be able to make people pick you out of the patrons easier because they'll know what you're wearing.
That's great news. I love more unsolicited conversation. I'm kidding. I'm a friendly guy. Come up and talk to me. Gary Player did it today. I was just standing there. Gary Player looked like he would have went up and talked to an inanimate object if he wanted to. He was just hitting everybody. He would have talked to the trash can. He came up and started smacking his belly as he does. I have a real belly, so smacking his abs, talking about all his friends are dead, 90s. He just launched into a soliloquy. No one asked him to come talk. Not that we didn't want to hear him, but no one requested his time. Most of these pros would take U-turns to get the hell away from people. And he just came up and started going about the times he's won, the times he's finished second, has made cuts, how he just shot under his age for the 4,440 time. I don't have that number right, but something like that. You know, Trevino gives him shit for saying, well, you could shoot 18 over at this point because he said he's 90, which he's not. I looked it up. He's 89 still, just to be clear. So
he might be in his 90th year, though.
That's true. That's true. So, yeah, he's 90 and said all his friends are dead. And he's smacking his belly with his abs. And he just looks so happy. Look how great it was. Nice out. But honestly, just came up and started rattling off his record, shouting his record off. I couldn't believe it. Anyways,
were you having trouble not laughing?
I mean, I was entertained. I was loving it. You know, it was a great little moment. I didn't have trouble laughing. So please, if you see us in our scripting, you can pick Andy out, come up and talk to us like Gary did. Just start stating your record at Augusta National as well, unsolicitedly. At LIV Doral, Marc Leishman, opening day. We're a week into the season here, so it's good to see him. He started cold, but now he got hot down in Miami. They went and played the Marlins. He got a little hot streak. That decrepit franchise comes out with a solid series. Wins 3-game series. Round one, he's
here's
one
the
under.
thing.
What?
A lot of people wouldn't think that LIV Doral would be a good ballpark for Leish. It's a big park.
Yeah.
But that for somebody that's got a lot of bat skills, a lot of can hit the ball any direction. This is a great place for him because there's plenty of places to just throw little bloop singles into the corners,
gaps, more space.
dump it over here, and that's what Leishman does.
More room to roam.
How about Phil? Is Phil a serious contender?
He got jammed literally by the flag stick. Jammed the ball. If pitch hits the stick and then deflects into the water, he was one back. No, he's not a legitimate contender. That's a hard no. That doesn't mean he won't shoot like 68 on one of the days, and he's, oh my God, he might do it. And
then you're going to write your Phil piece.
But then he's going to shoot, he's going to make a 7 and an 8. That's going to happen.
That should have been a prop in the Friday Night Golf Pool. Will Brendan write a Phil Mickelson piece?
That would be a good one. So, all right. Philip finishes 6th at LIV Doral. Bryson had kind of an ugly Sunday, 3 over. He tumbled down the Sergio. Another good showing. Hot Charles.
Big Tex. American Ryder Cup star Sergio Garcia.
John Rahm, we can talk about this. We're going to do our proper preview show. We're going to go through the odds board or whatever, the favorites and the sleepers and questions about Rahm, Koepka, whoever. Rahm is playing well, but he just kind of slots into that T6 to T12 on LIV. And do we know entirely what that means? I don't know. He's
he's good.
Good. I
still
agree
think he's good.
Yeah, that's not at all what I'm
but it's
saying. Is he Scotty and Rory right
Yeah.
now? Because we know, is he at that level? He could be. I'm not suggesting he's lost. It's just, I don't think he's at the Scotty Rory level. We'll talk more about that. Anything from LIV. The Rippers, the Aussies win at LIV Doral. Rippers, sponsored by our friends at AG1. I noticed they got official green juice sponsor now on the hat. But yeah, they win carried by Leishman, Cam Smith. They win the team portion. What happened
the
with
Magic
the Duel?
Sticks are a disaster.
Yeah, they have been since their incarnation. It's
Dead
just been
last.
a mess. It's just been, it's just one after another.
Did I see that your cliques are getting some sort of branding?
They've had that. That's been the 6 month. They're doing some art gallery opening in Miami. There's a lot of distractions. Maybe they might not be locked in. The guy who designed the handbag for him or the luggage, that he did some art opening in Miami. They're all distracted. The cliques. Still getting the newsletter.
Are you?
The
cliques newsletter.
It's mostly about the handbags and fashion. It's rarely about the play anymore. It's just a dark turn in 25. I have to read about I
can't believe they're still sending a newsletter.
Scandinavia.
How many people do you think send the cliques newsletter?
Some
2,000?
Some spam terrorist is going around signing people up is what I gather. So yeah, 2,000. That sounds like a good deal. Did the duels go off? I was traveling. This doesn't.
Wait, was there a PGA Tour? I saw like rumors that they were back channeling, trying to ban the creators.
Get in here and talk about your little Gen Z content world or whatever it is.
Come in here and talk about your TikTok.
Why
boys.
the duels just? They had a time, and then they didn't have a time. The Grand Horvat production company had
They did. So,
pickup?
it was supposed to go out at 8:00 last night, Saturday.
Were you ready to watch it?
No, I was not ready to watch it.
Okay,
I was watching the Mets. I was watching the Final Four. I was packing. I was dialed. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
That was a bad. You launched it against the Final Four. That's a bad time.
It's a tough time. Tough time. So it was supposed to go up last night. Rumored technical errors. They said they had 10 to 15 editors working on putting it all in one video, and it got delayed until 9 a.m. this morning. I cannot say I've watched it yet, so I can't report on what was happening.
Do we know who won it? Do we know who won the duels?
I don't. I know Wes and Phil did not win.
Okay.
Wes
was
that's
DJ, no?
Yes, I know Wes did not win because there was the rumor that Wes is allegedly getting suspended for this.
Yeah,
TBD.
It seems like that there are issues. There's pushback with the creator.
Imagine that.
Let me tell you something.
Imagine that these guys would get in trouble for
My
that.
patience and interest in like the pro golfers and who's suspended and what the status of the negotiations are is about like an inch deep at this point. My patience to hear about the creator, like drama, who's banned, who they were threatened, they were I have zero interest or time in this. Who won? Did you pull it up live here?
Yeah, here we go. You're going to love this.
What happened?
Well, you're going to love this. Just watch this.
Playoff hole.
Playoff hole.
Big Tex and George Bryan.
Oh, Georgie.
And look at this earnest hug here. This is like two brothers hugging each other.
One from Texas, one from South Carolina.
Look at that.
You know?
To SEC rivals
Yes.
that have learned to love.
Big hug. Sergio does team golf better than anyone in this century.
Yes.
Right? And there we go. He's another notch on the Ryder Cup resume.
Afraid of with champagne.
He's making his case for Bethpage, just to Luke Donald. Hey, I won that scramble with the creator. I can play in a team format.
Wait, did they beat Wes? Is that who they were in the playoff against?
It was Luke, Quan, and Bubba.
We're watching a YouTube video and
like
talking about it into a podcast recording at this point.
Yes, we are.
There we go.
Oh, there's Wes. There we go.
All right.
So the duels went off. I mean, that's kind of amateur hour, no? I mean, all of a sudden it wasn't on. I think the audience was all worked up about it. Where's my
tin
duels?
hat?
Where's my duels?
Tin hat on
What's
for
that?
a little bit?
Yeah.
Tin hat theory?
Yeah.
Are we sure Bryson didn't have a pardon disrupting it?
He like unplugged the cord. He was mad.
Yeah. Why would it be on Horvat's channel versus Bryson's? You know what I think about all the time?
Fair question.
With this little what's going on?
Yeah.
It doesn't, where there's smoke, there seems to be a little disagreement about the YouTube channel and LIV.
Mm-hmm.
I think about what Mike Shai said in that interview with Shupak.
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking, what about? But when Bryson's happy, he plays good golf. When he's not, he doesn't play good golf.
So you think he maybe isn't happy with the state of the YouTube arrangement?
Could that be a bad thing for him going into Augusta National?
Well, he shot whatever he shot, 75 today. Doral, it's a hard course.
Maybe he was waiting for the premiere and he was unhappy that he didn't get to watch it last.
Mad about that. There we go. All right, that's LIV Doral. We did Champs Tour. We don't need to add anything. El Pato has won. LPGA is ongoing at the moment at the Madeline Sagstrom versus Lauren Coughlin out at Shadow Creek. They're in the final at the moment. So that is...
Again, terrible schedule of this. This event's got to be...
It's one of the better ones on their schedule.
Yes, it's got to be not... It can't be against Augusta and Anwa.
They're tied 3-13 as we record this. So a good little Sunday night finish that's going on. But now they're running up against... Aren't they running up against the women's national... UConn and USC, right?
No, that already happened.
Oh, it was... Oh, yeah. Sunday afternoon. That's right. They moved it up Sunday afternoon. Okay. All right. I've been on the course.
How about Anwa? Did you watch much?
No. I didn't.
All right.
We had 2 representatives writing from here. Meg and Adam were here, and they read the Fried Egg newsletter, friedegg.com, the dispatch from there.
Mixed Bag will be covering it.
Yeah, it was my last day at home, so I didn't lie. I watched, and we had youth sports, so didn't watch it.
I was locked in on the plane.
Okay, what happened?
Watching on the plane.
The Spaniard one.
Yeah, Carla Bernat Escudero.
Yep.
Won. I think the story though was Asterisk Talley.
Okay.
The 16-year-old.
She lost by a shot, right?
Lost by a shot. Was thrilling. Was she has a magnetism, a gravity to her game. She's been while she hasn't won, I think she's been historically great at a young age. She finished runner-up in 3, or she was in 3 finals of USGA events last year.
Yep.
That's like crazy stuff. Getting to the finals of 3 match play events.
At what
USGA.
age? 16?
16.
At that time?
She would have been 16 or 15 then.
Okay.
She was 15 last year when she finished T8 in Anwa. Obviously, she had a hole out eagle on 1, an incredible birdie from the trees on 17. You probably saw that.
I did see those.
The hook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just think, when we talk about women's golf and everybody is always looking, anybody in women's sports is like, can we have like a Caitlin Clark moment, a Caitlin Clark figure that could take the game to the next level? And I'm not saying that Asterisk Talley is going to be Caitlin Clark. But if she could apply some level of increased popularity, I think she is a player that could. Just the way she is racking up incredible achievements at a young age. I saw that she said she was going to go to college. I think it's a mistake in terms of just women's golf. Like most women's iconic women golfers achieve really big things in the professional game at a young age.
Yeah.
You think about Lydia Ko, like they're winning majors at 18, 19, 20, and maybe she could do that while going to college. But I do think if you want to have a transcendent figure, it'd be great to have an American that is playing professional golf. And I know it's a hard decision. It's hard to say like don't go to college or whatever, but I do think that she's got kind of a gravity to her and a personality that could lend itself quite a bit to popularity.
Okay. You're the opposite of the guy who says stay in school, kids, get your degree. You're saying no. I think, and also a lot of times these days, these people just throw out this crutch like, oh, they got NIL. They're making like that's kind of, there's been like a real overcorrection there or a correction there, especially even for boys golf, men's golf. We got an article coming out on Monday about the amateurs in the field this week. But there's been a bit of a correction there for most of the men's NCAA. Like we're not talking about Jeremiah Smith here, and whether women's golf, men's golf, whatever. I think like it's you're talking about in the 5 figures, thousands. And if she's a great pro right away, that's a big.
I think like you need
or a magnetic pro even.
That's like to me like. Like Rose Zhang had this amazing college career. How many wins would she have as a pro now on TV? Like the problem is like if you go play women's golf is like you're not on TV. Like you could stack wins.
Women's college, yeah.
And it's like what if would Rose have 3 more LPGA wins and be just that much bigger of a name if she was doing it on TV? And like she's going to get a degree from Stanford, which is amazing. But like that's not to say you can't get a degree later. I think the women's one of the women's game, like the phenoms, the all-timers for the most part in the modern era win early. Like MB and Sayri Pak won majors at 20. Lydia Ko won a major at 18.
Mm-hmm. Won a U.S. Women's Am at whatever it was, 15 basically.
Yeah. I mean, Talley finished runner-up as a 15-year-old in the Women's Am.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just think you just get on TV, and that's... I I know it's awesome to go to college and everything, and I'm not, and everybody can make it, and I'm not going to criticize someone for going to college, like, but I will say that, like, if you want the women's game to be as big as it can be, you need people like Asterisk Talley to get into the game as quick as possible.
I do think, yeah,
into the like televised regular programming, because like everybody watched her play and they were like, wow, this is amazing, and we aren't going to see her again until the U.S. Women's Am, and that's going to be a sliver of the audience of an LPGA event and a sliver of an audience of ANWA, and it's like, that's the way. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I think she should turn pro. Everybody's going to say it's great that she's going to college.
No, yeah, she's got a couple of years before she decides. I mean,
she's got the game. She's got it. She's like got it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting. Rose, I think, has a pretty good argument as the greatest women's amateur of all time. Winning the girls, winning the women's, and winning the ANWA, winning the NCAA championship. Like, I think, has the pretty good argument for that.
How many more pro events would she have won?
Twice. Yeah.
If she wasn't playing.
It's an interesting.
And if she would have been winning events on TV, which is like what you have to do to build your star. And what the women's game needs desperately is stars. The most marketable woman of the last 2 decades is Lexi Thompson, because she was on TV at a young age.
Played in like 15 U.S. Opens by the time she was like 28.
So, like, to me, like, that's the recipe to build a star women's player, is to get on TV at a young age regularly. And this girl's got the game. She's got the personality. And it was really fun to watch her play at ANWA. And I think Escudero was nails. Like, she played a really great back nine.
That was good personality. It was, apparently like very, very hard worker. Meg had a good write up and scene following her down the stretch. But yeah, K-State Spaniard. Love seeing Ollie there for the big hug at the ball. I might write about him, actually. I shouldn't give that away. If I can avoid writing about Phil, just start writing about all the past champions. Lahner, all out the ball. I saw Woozy scooting around a cart tonight. He looked good. Somebody's like,
good spirits.
Well, somebody asked how old it was. Like, I mean, and you watched Lahner walk off. Like, one, they're like, you had Lahner, you had Player who's 90, and Woozy, and you're like, which one's Woozy closer to? Like, he's a contemporary of Lahner. He looked, I mean, he was...
Woozy's lived a lot more life than those fellas.
They were all kind of and like, no, he's like 63 or something. He's like about Bernhard's age. So, yeah, I saw him tonight. Anything else from ANWA? Course looked good. Today. There were some thuds. Now we're going to get a deluge on Monday. I don't even think anybody's going to play golf. They're not going to open it to the patrons. Maybe late afternoon. It's a bad storm. A lot, not just severity and electricity, but a lot of water coming on Monday.
It's a monster unit coming.
The Valimaki type storm is what you're suggesting.
Yeah, well, it might miss us.
No,
look at that. Look at the radar.
No.
It looks like it's going to miss
100%. The radar, you're not reading it right. It's 100% chance. Come on.
Oh, it's supposed to start raining now.
Yeah, it's coming.
We got to get to dinner here.
It's coming. You heard the thunder? Is it thunder? Yeah, it's thundering. I think it's not going to miss us, to be clear. So Monday, it of course looks amazing. It looked really good at ANWA. A lot of people have been here for a long time. We've seen it. It's as good as it. Shackelford had a write up on Saturday in his newsletter with Jim Heiler, I believe. So it's interesting. It's just as good as it looked. A few others talked about some of the tree not removal, but natural issue removal, which is noticeable. I stood at the top of the hill today. They don't let us go anywhere, but I mean, you could see Augusta Country Club down the hill quite well through over 10 and so. Yeah, that's Mother Nature. That's the way it works. The course looks awesome. Looked really firm. That's going to change a little bit with Monday, and hopefully, it looks pretty clear after that. Anything else from Anwa? Course related, player related? No. Okay. It's taken hold. I mean, it's taken hold, right? It's I don't know if it's drive, chip, and putt at this point.
I love DCP. I want to go. I think next year I'm going to DCP.
What does that even mean? What did you go to the range? I don't even know what that means.
I think I'm going to just hang out with the helicopter parents all day. Get them to say just some crazy shit to me.
So I was talking to a fellow colleague, a very curmudgeonly one, who's saying like, I think I found my calling to do a stream of the DCP. It was like, you might have to do it on like the dark web where you're like really angry or like just really critical of the helicopter parents. I'll tell you what, my kids had a sleepover last night to watch the Final Four. Just came down. It's great, 10 kids or whatever in the room. And they didn't really watch the Final Four. They're battling with their Switches and PS5s and all this stuff. But then I turned that on at 8 this morning. They're kind of into that a little bit. They're just curious.
More into the DCP
I
than
don't know
Duke.
about, they watch Duke Houston.
How about Duke?
Good night for the White Lotus, I'll tell you that. A lot of memes flying around.
Maybe not a great White Lotus season.
I would agree with that.
I can't believe tonight's the finale.
Should we take a hard left into Prestige TV? Whatever
nothing
that
happened.
Freaking term means. I hate.
I was talking to my wife about this. It's like other seasons have been slow, but then it gets going.
Yeah.
It gets going at some point, and it's like it's over, and I'm like, I don't know if we've gotten going yet.
I don't think we had anything happen. There's some anxiety about meeting somebody. There's some anxiety about we met. Nothing happened. There's anxiety about the masseuse who had to meet with Greg Gary. It's just I don't know. It's just slow. But the memes were a hit with the Final Four.
Mike White. We might be seeing Mike White's. He had a couple of years ago. He got into the game. Had a great performance as a backup.
The Jets scored.
And then he started the next game and he wasn't very good. Maybe we're at the point where the opposing defense has seen Mike White tape and they can game plan for him. And yes. And now this Mike White he's run out of stuff.
PJ said there was some disgraced former Jets front office member on his flight today, and PJ, being who he is, knows all of them, knows the headshots, knows the whole, and locked eyes with them. And he said the guy knew that you knew right away on your little puddle jumper down from New York to Augusta. So pretty good. Speaking of Mike White,
how about PJ being the only one on staff that flew direct into Augusta?
I know, living high on the hog over there.
Producer
pretty good.
PJ
Direct into AGS. You don't get that very often. Columbia was not bad, but that's it for.
I'll tell you what,
Anwa.
Atlanta was bad. I gotta get a rant off about
bad.
Atlanta.
I got a couple reports that it was tough.
I'm convinced that if you fly into Atlanta on any other airline than Delta, they purposely
Jam ya.
hijack your bags for like a minimum of an hour. These bags were coming off. I've never seen them come slower. Like it'd be
the golf bags. I heard something about the golf.
Well, the golf bags were slow,
issue.
but the regular luggage bag, it was like a bag a minute. They were coming out like I think they were trying to troll us. And then I'm not trying to I have like the priority tags, which if you're at a United hub as a frequent flyer, like those things come flying out right away. It is like. I'm like, I'm going to be one of the first 10 bags out.
Yep.
All the priority bags came out last. It was like they were They were like, you know what? United frequent flyers, you're on our turf now. It felt intentional.
I kinda like that.
It felt.
I kind of like that.
They totally were jamming us. I think
home game. I mean, you got to take advantage of that. All right. Any notes from getting into town?
I got a note.
All right.
All the talk of Georgia right now is the pollen.
It's big. It's a lot of pollen.
Pollen everywhere.
It's bad in Maryland. Before I left, I was like, oh, how bad is it going to be in
Georgia? There's like pollen caking on everything.
Yeah.
People are like getting car washes, and the next day their car's covered in pollen. So watch out.
He's worried about himself. He's just going to stay inside. All right. There you go. Yeah, it's big. On nature, floral fauna minute here while you're talking about the pollen. This I don't know if this is good, bad. There's apparently some not concern. There's some notable bees. There's a bees issue apparently. There's bees I was told there's lots of thick bees at Augusta this week. There could be bee content. I guess it's peak bloom. Trust me, this is not something I'm hypothesizing or a theory of my own. Maybe this is
related to the pollen.
One would assume.
They're all out.
I was told, and I went out there, and there were some big ass bees. There were some big boys. But I had been warned there's going to be lots of bees content, bumblebees, not Andy Sullivan, but real ones.
Maybe the bumblebee will fly in.
And I did see some big bees. That's apparently a thing that's going on. So that's Flora Fauna Minute. So I guess, the postseason, this is how you win the offseason. Billy Boy and Lucas Glover playing practice round together. Fellow Drive members. The good feelings lingering past the parade last week. They're playing practice rounds this week, and this is how you win the offseason. Further building team camaraderie. Billy Boy.
I was with some Atlantans. I spent a night in Atlanta, and I said, how are we feeling about our winning franchise?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, the Drive? We love the Drive.
They like it.
Also saw a brand new Arthur Blank Hospital. His name on the hospital
like
is
the Ring of
just
Honor?
Massive. It takes up like half the hospital. Is Arthur Blank Hospital. Congrats to Arthur Blank for building a new hospital.
Yeah, you can criticize him for putting his name on the hospital he built?
It reminds me of the Curbs Anonymous. Anonymous.
Pretty
well,
good.
you know who donated that.
I had a bunch of other notes. So let's get out of here. Miscellaneous. Monday. We'll leave serious notes for the pod preview. Official preview is Tuesday, 6 p.m. live. So the little notes are Gary Player just going up to people and telling them his record.
Pollen.
Bees. Thick bees. Some trees. ATL Drive. I did hear the parking garage was dug up. Giant mound of dirt, like day after the Masters last year, and the player parking under the range is done and ready and operational. They were just saying, local was saying the mound was to the sky of dirt. They dug that up right away. So they
should have kept it. They could have had a ski resort too.
Yeah.
You know what I've always wondered, and I would love our listeners to weigh in on this.
Yeah.
We have created golf courses.
Okay.
Could we create a ski mountain? How long would that take? How much money would it take? What if you just piled?
Let's just use a mountain, like a real mountain.
Well, I'm just curious if you could create a ski mountain.
It doesn't seem like the one that's substantial enough to serve all the market.
But I see these hills that are 100 feet. I think about this all the time. Could you go crazy and create a mountain?
It'd be fun. Get in the tube. There's snow here. It started on the 18th green or something, clubhouse. That would be a blast. My kids would have fun with that. They're talking about you start from the top.
I don't think there'd ever be enough snow, though.
No, but it's good land for that.
Well, DC's got the same type of land.
Yeah. All right. I think that does it for a little Monday episode. We're putting bullets. We're holstering our ammo. We're ready to go. One more. You know what I love about Augusta is they don't let the equipment trucks on the property. It's just the best.
That's where we saw the original Wilson truck.
Right.
The F-150.
Why does Nike still have a truck? Why do they just have a bunch of blade collars in there? Why do they have a truck?
Well, they got to get Tom Kim, the international superstar.
Saw Tom Kim playing. Table for one, Tom Kim. He was playing no member, no past champs, just Tom and his caddy going out. So you got to walk across the street. So these guys are just dodging traffic like these pampered Fs, and they're all kitted. I couldn't tell. There was some Build-A-Pro. I couldn't tell who it was. Walking across. It's enjoyable. I mean, they make them walk across the street. If you want your new specs or your whatever, as a new head cover, you got to walk into the strip mall church they got across the way, and then they're out of here by Wednesday, but nothing on property. So they were dodging traffic on our way out of town.
It doesn't make sense to me that they leave on Wednesday.
I've always wondered about this.
And then you have these players that have equipment problems.
Rory's Ubering them.
And it's like, oh, like the equipment's not working. And it's like, what if this happened and somebody was leading the Masters? It's like, well, the equipment truck left. We can't do anything.
Well, they gotta sell more so they can have 2 trucks, one at the advanced scouting place and one at the Tilt through Sunday.
This is the case against rollback. This is the case against rollback here.
That's right. So yeah, I don't know. It's just fun watching. It was an agent looking real self-important, player caddy just trying to sprint across before traffic came down. So yeah, that's fun to see them have to walk off property. All right, that does it.
Get to our dinner
this Monday episode of the Shotgun Start. Thanks to B Draddy for their support.
Congrats to Brian Harman.
Yeah, congrats to Brian Harman. Congrats.
Check out the live show Tuesday night,
6 p.m.
and check out the Masters pool. That'll be fun.
Newsletter. We'll have a lot of content. FriedEggWebsite.com. It'll be good. We're humming.
Maybe a new website.
Joseph Lamagna, maybe a new website. Let's not commit ourselves too hard to that.
There might be something new Monday night. Might.
Lamagna did a Q&A with Patrick Reed, and he's got some great takes. So we got that coming. Yeah. I don't know when, but it'll be up. All right, we'll talk to you. Thanks for your support. We'll talk to you on Tuesday night, 6 p.m.